Hi everybody, my name is Joanne Ferreira and welcome. My business is called The Passionate Plan and my mission is to shake up your status quo. Shake up how you think, how you behave in this world so that you can be more fully yourself, live a life of meaning and do something with that life that truly matters. So today we're going to talk about your secret weapon to wisdom. This month it's all about self-care and how does that secret weapon help you take care of yourself. And that secret weapon is pain, believe it or not. So I was reminded recently about the value of pain because my daughter was in pain and she had a serious pain and she was vomiting and and she's complained of her chest hurting her. So we're like, here's some Tylenol and if that's not working, here's some Advil and go to sleep and we'll see if things are better in the morning. Bad parent, right? So the next day, she still had pain and thank God we listened to the pain and we took her to the walk-in clinic. Long story short, she was admitted into ICU right away because if her pain could talk, which she had a pain in her chest, it would say, I have sepsis pneumonia, right? So the reason we have pain, whether it's emotional or physical, is that it is a signal for you to pay attention, right? It's like an alarm clock that goes off in your brain. The other thing about pain is it's kind of like blood, right? I think that the reason blood is red is because it is the color that most humans pay attention to. So it's like blood. It makes you pay attention so that you know something is wrong in your system. Same with emotional pain. It lets you know that you have an emotional GPS. It's like a tracking system. So no pain, you're on the right track. Pain lets you know that you are about to get very lost. And if you do not check in and acknowledge this, you're going to be seriously in the bush somewhere, right? So it's a lesson that I recently relearned, and it's a major part of looking after yourself. Pay attention to those less than comfortable feelings, right? Especially if they persist over time. And even if you decide, screw it, I'm not doing anything about this feeling right now, acknowledge it. Notice it and say, you know what? I'm feeling pissed off right now, or I'm sad right now, or I have this persistent feeling of dissatisfaction. Acknowledge it. Be kind to yourself. Let yourself know that you see what's going on, even if you decide not to rock the boat right now. Now, here's where it gets tricky, right? With this feelings business. So the other day I went to a new dentist and I feel sorry for the woman because I'm claustrophobic and I do not like dentists. If you notice, my voice is mostly always croaky. I call it sexy, but whatever. It's because I have severe allergies, right? So I'm always breathing through my mouth. So when I sit in a dentist chair and they have like 50 million shiny sharp instruments in my mouth and she's leaning over me and they have like this suction thing that's making noise, I feel like I cannot breathe, right? And the feeling that comes up for me is terror. So the feeling is fear, F-E-A-R. Do I pay attention to that kind of a feeling? I acknowledge it. I'm kind to myself and I go, okay, Joanne, you feel a little threatened right now because you feel like your air circulation is being cut off. However, that's not actually true. And so I don't want to pay too much attention to that kind of a feeling. I acknowledge it. I understand where it comes from. And then I begin to let it go by changing the channel in my brain. That's not the kind of feeling that I'm talking about here. I'm talking about persistent feelings of dissatisfaction, of sadness, of irritability. It's like, you walk around for weeks where you feel like you have one nerve left and everybody's getting on it, right? You're feeling like kind of empty. Those kind of feelings, some people might call it depression, moderate to severe anxiety, just kind of like something's not quite right? Those are the kinds of feelings that when we're looking after ourselves, I'm going to ask you to pay attention because they have a message for you. They have a message for you. So it's like, kind of like everything in nature. The heart has a beat. It contracts and it expands. In labor, God forbid, but in labor, it's the same thing, contraction and expansion. It's the way the world works, right? There are seasons. So we are not always in expansion. We're not always happy and zippity-doo-dah. There are times when we are in contraction that let us know to pay attention, that there is a message in the contraction. Not all feelings are meant to be light and freshly scented, right? Sometimes what we call more uncomfortable feelings, that's the way change calls us. Usually it takes us feeling uncomfortable for us to be drawn forward to the next change in our lives. It's a good thing. Even though it feels uncomfortable, it means that it is a time to listen and pay attention. So feelings have a function, and we need to pay attention to them to understand what they are trying to tell us, or else they will start screaming at us in big ways, right? Okay, so it's, and it doesn't mean that we have to express the feeling. That would be like, in a big, huge way. That's like moaning when you're in pain. It's like get the message so that you're not expressing it more than is initially necessary, right? Next week we're going to talk about the specific messages or the specific function of each of the emotions. But for today we're just going to look a little bit at sadness, and I'm going to give you a quick exercise that can help you pay attention to the message that perhaps your sadness has for you. So the first thing we always do when we want to pay attention is take a breath. Whether that's through your nose, with the dentist in your face, or through your mouth, whatever you can manage, right? One of my favorite breaths is called the triangle breath. So it's 3 seconds in through your nose or your mouth. You hold for 3, and then you exhale for 3. 1, 2, 3. And you simply do that 3 times, which calms your whole body down, right? Now I want you to shake your body like a rag doll, right? So just like shake it up, stick your tongue out, make sure nobody's watching. Just really, really release tension, relax your body, right? And now, after you've done that, hopefully by yourself quietly, check in with yourself. Take a breath, a normal breath, and check in. Where in your body do you feel the sadness, if it is sadness that you're feeling? So usually if I check in with my sadness, usually I can feel it in my heart. Sometimes I can feel it in my throat, right? You're just acknowledging and you're checking in. That's where my sadness is right now, right? The function of sadness is to slow you down. You ever notice when you're sad, you're not like Speedy Gonzales, right? It makes you introspective. It brings you back to yourself. It's why we tend to not want to go out when we are feeling sad, right? Because we're vulnerable. And when we're out in the world, it's usually not so safe to be vulnerable. So we're not ready for action, right? In fact, sadness requires us to sit still. The function of sadness is to keep you, to slow you down, to make you pay attention, right? It can give you the signal to release uncomfortable things that you've been holding on to, like lost hopes or disappointments, right? Sadness can help you let go of things that are no longer working for you. So what is it that you need to let go of that's no longer serving you, that's no longer working for you? Sadness can also be a reminder of lost ones or people that have passed away. Right now my 2 girls are off to university and the house is quiet. Woohoo! There's no mess. But every now and again I get a feeling of sadness, which feelings last for 7 seconds, everyone. 7 seconds. So I acknowledge that I miss them, and then I let the feeling go, right? There's nothing else that I need to do. Maybe I need to text them or reach out to them in some way. That's the feeling, and that's the function of the feeling. So whenever you can, with awareness, welcome the feeling of sadness, right? What we tend to do in our society, we have 50 million ways to kill a feeling, right? We can, and I'm interested in what your favorite way is, so we can eat a lot. We can eat crap. We can drink our favorite drink. We can binge on Netflix. We can be busy. We can overwork. We can focus on the needs of other people in a detrimental way. So we have so many ways that we can shut off our GPS, right? And I'm going to call you back to listening to the inner wisdom that you have, which is your feelings, right? So whenever you can, with awareness and with some compassion for yourself, right? Welcome your sadness and ask it, what is it that you need to let go of? What is it that no longer serves a function or a purpose in your life? It's kind of like, it's house cleaning, right? Because if we ignore this stuff and we keep doing the stuff that we do to avoid it, it's going to mount up, right? It's going to be a mess and we're going to be so lost, it's going to be really difficult to bring us back home. So breathe in, gather the tension that comes from holding on to the feeling, right? And then breathe it all out with a sigh, like, what is it that I need to let go of? Do a yawn or something, or a little shimmy with your body and let it go. Once you have received the message, let it go. So, as we say in Trinidad, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Comment. I would love to know what is it that you feel that you need to let go. Or you can tell me about what your favorite way is to avoid your feelings. I love hearing all of it. And please share, share, share. Really soon I'm going to be launching a beta group, a beta program, which means you get 6 weeks of me live teaching. Usually I charge tons of money for this program, but it's going to be free to those people in this group who register because I'm doing a trial group and I want your feedback. So invite people to join the group and please share, and we're starting a movement. So I will see you next Wednesday when we're going to talk more about the function of the other difficult feelings that we have. And in the meantime, look after your one wild and precious self. And thanks for stopping by. See you soon. Bye.